You're welcome to the African Lens News channel. If you value justice, freedom, and thoughtful discussion, you're in the right place. If you're joining us for the first time, please like, share, and subscribe to stay informed and connected to us. Your engagement will help this video to reach more people. Thank you very much. The streets of Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, and Nakuru became battlegrounds earlier yesterday, June 25th, as thousands of protesters took to the streets, marking the one-year anniversary of last year's violent anti-tax demonstrations. But what began as a commemoration quickly spiraled into police brutality. Amnesty Kenya report indicated that most of the fatalities resulted from police gunfire. Among the dead was a Kenya Power security guard shot while on duty at the company's headquarters. Medical teams were overwhelmed, with Kenyatta National Hospital admitting dozens of patients suffering from severe injuries, including gunshot wounds. Over 400 injuries have been reported nationwide as police deployed tear gas, water cannons, and most controversially, live ammunition against demonstrators. The government's response has drawn fierce backlash, not just for its heavy-handed tactics, but also for an attempted media blackout. Authorities briefly banned live TV coverage of the protests, pulling major stations like NTV and KTN off the air, a move later overturned by the High Court. Meanwhile, social media platforms like Telegram faced restrictions, raising serious concerns about censorship and press freedom in Kenya. President William Ruto, in a defiant address, warned protesters against destroying the countries and pledged support for the police despite mounting evidence of excessive force. This stance has only deepened public anger, with many Kenyans accusing his administration of reintroducing oppressive taxes while failing to address skyrocketing living costs and unemployment. Amid the chaos, 2027 presidential aspirant Patrick Osoi delivered a powerful speech in a press briefing. Addressing the nation ahead of the protests, Osoi declared that Kenya has reached a tipping point, calling on citizens of all generations to rise against what he called a system that has lost its conscience. Osoi framed the demonstrations as a memorial march to honor those killed in last year's protests, directly calling out politicians he accused of inciting violence. His appeal to Kenya's youth, Gen Z, millennials, and even Gen Alpha was particularly striking, as he urged them to lead the charge for change while extending an olive branch to the police, calling the police to work with them and not against them. His emotional tribute to fallen protesters, including Rex, a young man killed in 2024, struck a chord with many. Osoi's speech wasn't just a call to action, it was a masterpiece in bridging Kenya's deep political divides, positioning him as a potential unifying figure in a nation on the brink.
Last year, before demonstrations, I came May last year, and I declared to go for the presidency 2027. We did not want to start politics. We respected and we respect the rule of the law. But what has been happening, there's been a lot of politics, and therefore we have to go end on. Before I give my speech, I want to say thank you for all of you for coming. So I want to give a very comprehensive statement in order to guide the young people and us to be able to run these demonstrations tomorrow. The young people need direction. Our generation needs direction. We have been quiet for so long without a leader to tell us what direction to take. It is important to note, as a person who has served at the capacity of a special force in this country, I understand the reasons for formation and structures to engage in any war. For a person who has served in the National Intelligence Service of this country, I understand the dynamics of what is being planned. And I want to say this before I start my brief statement today. It is important to note Any leader who has altered any provocative ones, threatening ones, the likes of Member of Parliament of Tiati, we need to take action. I will record a statement for such utterances because this country has to be run by the rule of the law. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to start my brief statement to the nation as Patrick Osoi VI. Gen Z's millennials chant, Gen X shouts, a nation's clarion call for dignity, justice, and restoration. Enough is enough. Fellow citizens, sons and daughters of this beloved republic, from the valleys of Elgeyo to the Battle of Nairobi, from the shores of Mombasa to the highlands of Nyeri, from the plains of Bundarangi to the pastoral patches of Rochogyo, from our bondas in Mandera to Alale in Pokot. Kenya rises tomorrow, 25th June 2025. We, the youth of Kenya, Gen Z, millennials, Gen X, the boomers, and even the blooming Gen Alphas are not gathering for spectacle, but for solemn, unbreakable stand against a regime and a system that has lost its conscience. We rise to say, enough is enough. We rise to defy the kidnappers of hope, the sodomizers of spirit, the silencers of truth. We rise because the blood of our brothers and sisters cries out, not for vengeance, but for justice. We march not merely with our feet, but with the weight of truth in our hearts, the power of memory in our hands, and the destiny of our nation upon our shoulders. This is not a riot. This is not a rebellion. This is a resurrection of values, of vision, of voice of people. Let the echo across every village, estate, and slum. Let it be whispered in the corridors of Parliament and thundered through the avenues of State House itself. We are not afraid, for the true power of the Republic does not sit behind guarded gates or in an individual. It lives in the people.
The protests are fueled by more than just economic grievances. The recent death of blogger Albert Ojwang, who died in police custody after criticizing an officer, has further inflamed tensions. Disturbingly, reports of abductions and enforced disappearances of government critics continue to surface, with over 80 people vanishing since last year's protests. Families like that of Denzel Onyango, a student killed in 2024, are still demanding justice, a painful reminder that for many Kenyans, today's protests are not just about policy, but about accountability for lives already lost. This is more than a protest, it's a reckoning. Kenya is at a crossroads, torn between a government doubling down on repression and a people demanding change. The world is watching as one of Africa's most stable democracies grapples with a crisis of legitimacy. Will dialogue prevail, or will the streets decide Kenya's future? Thank you for tuning in to African Lens. If this report moved you, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Your engagement helps us amplify critical stories like this across the continent. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, stay informed, stay safe, and keep the lens focused on truth.